Hello and welcome to Winter Disco Tabletop Gaming, where we're checking out this week's Games Workshop pre-orders. And there's one main one. We have the new Warhammer Quest Cursed City finally dropping. You can get that now on pre-order. Comes out next weekend, which is the 10th of April. Get it while it's there. Somewhat seems to be sold out already on the Australian GW store, but if you're going through your local store, you probably get a little bit of discount. And if you stick around to the end, I'll let you know how you can get an even greater discount if you're in the UK or Europe. Warhammer Quest Cursed City. Got the prices on the screen at the moment. I'm looking at the Australian store because that's where I am. Let's have a look at the contents. Here we are in all its glory. 60 models in this box. So you got 8 heroes, 42 hostile models, then 10 mysterious objects. Ooh. And of course we're going to go through all the models because there's tons of images and 360 rotating images on the product page. So we're going to go through all those. Books wise, you get one 40-page rulebook, one 56-page quest book, and one 16-page Warhammer Age of Sigmar War Scrolls booklet. So you can actually play all these models in Age of Sigmar as soon as you get the box. There's also so much other content in here. This is a role-playing game, so you're going to have so much stuff. There's 138 cards. You get a special Ulfenkarn in Peril secret envelope. I think it's the same thing that you open at the end of the game after you've got through the campaign. You get some special thing. You get 180 tokens, counters, and markers. There's tons. There's a lot. 20 game board tiles, and we get a really good look at some of the new tiles, and you can see in this image here that there's a lot of the blue street images, and then the inside building locations are much more bright and vibrant, deadly and deathly, I guess. And 28 dice. We're going to go through all of these, don't you worry. So let's have a look at the heroes. Here we go. The heroes themselves, all 8 of them, brilliant models, really top quality models. They've just put so much time and effort into this. Even Glimscry, Octron Grimscry at the top with these long weird beard, I should say, looks very funky. Now I need to mention the bases here. I do not believe these bases come with the game. I believe they're just standard blank bases, which is a little disappointing. Imelda Braskov does stand on a block. Everyone else doesn't. Don't quote me on that. I'm going to have to do a little bit more research to see if that's the case, but there's no images of the bases themselves, so I'm not 100% sure. It's not on a sprue either. I don't know what's going on there, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully we get some more info throughout the week. So let's have a look at Imelda Braskov. Very strong model. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Giant eagle's head or some kind of weird mystical creature. So she's trying to seek vengeance and revenge because her whole army was wiped out when I think they either attacked Ulfenkarn or the soldiers of Ulfenkarn came and attacked them. She's the last one remaining, so she's out for vengeance. And of course we have, I guess, the main character, Jilson Darroch, Vampire Hunter. We've seen this model a lot. It is super cool. I really like this model. Like, this sword is huge. I love how he's decked out with multiple stakes. I think it's like 6 stakes with a hammer so he can hammer in the vampire. So you know you want to get him in there. Now we have Dagnai Holdenstock, who is a trade commodore and has a whole bunch of Caradron Overlord stuff. Very funky model. He's the shortest of the bunch, but you know, he'll pack a punch. We have Kulathis, the Exile. Again, this is another model that we've seen, and if you've checked out the Cursed City Chronicles series that I've been doing, we did a little bit on her. So I imagine with this model, the bottom pillar will come with the model itself. I imagine. I still really need to do a little bit more investigation to see if that's the case. Then we have Glorio van Elton III, who seems to be out to restore and redeem his house. He's like the last one in the house. Funky hair. Reminds me very much of the head rogue trader from Blackstone Fortress. Looks like he's carrying some realm stone there as well. And he seems to be fairly armored. His cloak is kind of odd. He has like a jacket, but his cloak is really armored. Very nice. And we've also got Octron Glimscry, if I can pronounce his name. This is a creepy character that has, well, his history is very tied to the city. He used to be one of the advisors or on the board or whatever it's called of the city, and he's coming back for unknown reasons. Maybe he wants to seek revenge, maybe he doesn't, maybe he's interested in returning to his work. Who knows? It's a really cool model. Like, that beard, really odd. Now we have Cleona Zeitengale, who is sort of like the support model, or the support character. We've had a look at some of the rules on the Warhammer community website. She has like a huge burst damage effect, which will basically cover an entire tile, and she can like buff and debuff. So probably a good character to have Then we have the big boy Brutal Corpse Eater. This is sort of like the heavy hitter, get in and hit and eat zombies, basically, because that's what he does. He's a big boy with lots of veins going on there on his arm. Gross. So he's kind of like an ogre, kind of not, with lots of armor on there. So I'm pretty excited to get in and paint these models. I think they're going to be pretty cool. So the bad guys, we've got to have the bad guys. As we can see, these are the main bad guys, the named ones that you will be fighting in some of the quests that you need to do to overthrow the city. Well, overthrow the hold that Radikar has on the city itself. And we'll go to those in just a second, but then we have all the other models, all the hostiles. So lots of skeletons, zombies, rats, bats, and then a few other bits and pieces that we'll look at in any second now. So first up, Radikar. It's a big chunky model with 2 giant wolves. I'm interested about his history. Those wolves are huge. I'm not sure if it's a single wolf that has 2 heads or it's been stitched together to look like that. But either way, really creepy, really creepy. Then we have Torgilius the Chamberlain, who is always watching. I love the cloaks here. For some reason, I just love tattered cloaks. I think it's just all the attention to detail in like the folds and the cuts and the holes. And it's like, gives you this impression that it's super old. So you just want to go in there and stipple in a whole bunch of like browns and blacks and grays and just dirty it right up. But yeah, he has a lot of friends with him. I think he's got a crow or a raven, a rat, a bat, and some kind of weird bat dog thing. So yeah, he's like the eyes and ears of the city. And we've also got, we also have Gorslav the Gatekeeper. So he is responsible for raising the dead. As you can see, he's bringing out a zombie friend there. Really gross, creepy model with metal stakes stuck in him. He's got a weird mask made out of bone. And I'm assuming this shovel he will use to attack with. So this was one of the first models they released. And when I saw that, I'm like, oh, this is going to be weird. And I love it. Weird and dark. It gives me a lot of Silent Hill kind vibes if you played the video games. We'll save this one. I don't know too much about this one yet, but this is Vargskir. He is disgusting and creepy. He's like a vampire, bat, wolf, rat hybrid type thing. It is disgusting and gross and nightmare material. I think if you come across this guy, just run, to be honest. He's big. He's definitely the biggest model in the whole box. It's disgusting. Look at that face. It's disgusting. Getting rid of that. Then we got Holgrim, Watch Captain Holgrim. We've seen this model a lot. It's one of the first ones to be revealed. Very cool armor. I've come around to the armor a little bit, particularly on the Cursed City models. Not so much on the other Soulblight Death Rattle models that they've been released. I'm going to do a big wrap up of all the announcements of all those models, including the models in this box as well, because it all suits the same army. But if you look at all the pits and the dints on the armor, just even if you just dry brush this, paint it black, dry brush it with a gray, you're going to get a really nice result. So I'm excited to get my paintbrushes into these ones. Then we also have 2 models, which are the Korsagi Night Guard. These are the big fellas that protect Radikar. And this is originally, I thought this is we're going to get pirate zombies. Unfortunately, sadly not. Monday maybe. Simply because like the cloak is very piratey. So a lot of detail in those ones, and then we get the other one. Like the cloaks are super thick, but just completely ripped up. And the axes, giant double-handed axes, which are huge. They're just like completely pitted and wrecked. I love it. Cool little armor, like a lot of little touches to wolves in here throughout the box set and everything. I really like those little tiny subtle touches that you don't notice unless you really start to look at the models and pay attention. I love its hand. Oh, pitted and gross and disgusting. And now we have the Virkos Bloodborne. So these are 3 models that you will come across. They are brothers or sisters or cousins, I believe. and they took on the blood curse. I can't remember the exact lore off the top of my head, but yeah, there's a few of these, as we can see. We'll pull up some of the other ones. I'm hoping one day we get a full unit of these. Just 10 different models, even like a unit of 5. I think they'd be super cool models. Just, I love the hair. And the final one is on another one of these pillars. And please, GW, release a whole bunch of terrain set in Ulfenkarn. I want it. And the armor itself is very much reminiscent of the Soul Blight, the vampires, that whole thing. They have like these weird bat things that go everywhere, all over their armor. Yeah, so that's the Bloodborne. And of course, tons of skeletons. We've seen a lot of these models already. These are sort of the more upscale bone rattle skeletons that we're getting really soon with the Soulblight Gravelords. So there's a little bit more detail in here, particularly in the cloaks and the fabrics. A lot more detail in the pitted things itself. So I am excited. I do prefer these ones, like I've said, over the other ones that are going to come in the separate box. But you know, it is what it is. Here's the Banner Boy. When you have bigger groups of the Ulfengard, you will be able to take like one of these models if it's available. I think it's, if you've got 4 or more, 3 or more or something, you'll be able to swap out one of the skeletons with this banner, and they give you a bit of a buff. Not much of a buff, but just a little one. And here's one of the other ones. Like, they're just super cool. The skeletons definitely needed an upgrade, and I think this is a very good upgrade. My thoughts are, I wish the armor and things like that were a bit varied and different. For Cursed City, it makes sense as the one unique army, but when you look at the other box set, that I might put a link up in the card or in the description, or you can find it on the channel. I talk about it a little bit disappointed that it's not more mismatched, but it is what it is. Okay, the weird creepy zombies. These are the Deadwalker zombies. I'm still don't quite know how I feel about these. These are just completely over the top. I don't think it was necessary to have all the extra bits attached to them, like the top of their coffins and then bits and pieces. I don't know. I just feel like that it's a little bit too much. The idea is fine. I just think it was a bit too much. And you got like all the roots coming through all the different plants and things like that. So we get a lot of those. You actually get 10 of these. And when you mix it with the new Deadwalker zombies coming with Soulblight Gravelords, you have a really cool mix of models. All right, let's look at some bats. This is the creepy bats. These are, you get 6 bat swarms. I'm assuming there's only 3 different variations, but we'll have a look at the sprue. This one in particular is so creepy and I love it. Oh, so gross. And we got the other one here. So this is just a smaller group like that. And then you have this one here, which is sort of a little bit bigger. So I've seen the rule card for the bats. When you have, I think 3 or more, you actually get to include a dire bat. And I'm assuming this model is meant to represent that. And they're just a little bit stronger. I think they have some more attacks and they do some extra stuff. So I think that's why some of the models are a bit more extravagant than the others. For example, then we have the corpse rats. The other 2 corpse rat models don't have a big boy. I assume that's why in the rules itself we'll probably get like a king rat or something, or a rat king. Although that'd be super gross. A rat king is like a whole bunch of rats and their tails are tied together. Gross. And you can see in this one, there's no big rat there. And the final one is essentially almost basically the same thing. Now, you also get a ton of mysterious objects. Ooh. I won't do a close-up on these because we need to get through, but you do get 2 gnawbone strays. I believe these are the 2 creepy things with the locked chests. 2 diagoyles, which are, I don't know which ones they are. 2 gravestones, which are these 2 here. 2 crows, which would be these ones here, and then 2 gibbets, maybe the 2 rats. All these things, I'm not 100% sure. But you get 10 objective markers. I like it. It's not 100% necessary for the game. For example, in Blackstone Fortress, they didn't have them. It just wasn't necessary. I think they had a lot more tokens that you could put down on squares or on the whatever size it was. I can't remember the hexagons. But they're cool little models. either way, I like them. So now we've got some more close-ups. We'll just go through these pretty quickly because the video is already running very long. Some more models there, all the heroes, and then it's the bad guys, just close-ups, just super well-designed models. Some more bad guys here. Then we got the quest book itself. I can't see the exact contents there. Maybe we'll get a better look throughout the week, but obviously it's going to go through to a lot of detail. So that book itself, if I recall, the quest book is 56 pages. So it'll outline all the quests that you can do and things that you can and can't do. We've got the rule book, again, that's 40 pages. So it has all the rules on how to play. And honestly, it's a very straightforward game. Once you've played it through a couple of turns, you'll get the flow of how the game works. And I think it's a really cool little system with the dice. Then we've got the War Scrolls, so 16 pages for War Scrolls, which will be really interesting to see how they play in the game itself. Some of the cards, so a whole bunch of different cards, discovery cards, encounter cards, exploration cards. I won't go into detail now because they're used in very specific ways. And like I said, there's 138 cards in the game. There's a lot. And now we have the push out cardboard bits for the tokens and for the different game tiles. Lots of detail, I love it. And ones that you can flip them over. I'm interested in making some 3D ones, which will be really nice, I think. I'm gonna give that a shot at some stage. And then a whole bunch of tokens. And of course, a bunch of dice. Now, let's get to the models. So, all the sprues themselves. The heroes come in 2 different sprues, and you can see them all split up here. It's like this weird, ghostly, sickly, creamy white color. These models are all push fit models. That doesn't necessarily mean they're easy to build. They're 2 different things. Easy to build are push fit. Push fit doesn't necessarily mean easy to build. It's a bit weird like that. So you can see with Emelda, she does have the thing on her foot. And if we look for Calathis, I can't see her on this sprue. She has bits and pieces on the sprue, but I can't quite see her leg. Unless it's something right there I just can't see. But you can see like the bodies are split up. You've got Cleona there, her body is half split up. Jelson there, his body's half split up. You've got the back, there she is. She's got the bottom half and the leg on the broken pillar for Calathis the Exile. So it is somewhat part of the model, not necessarily the sprues or the bases are all going to be like that, but I don't 100% know at the moment. Then we've got this sprue here, which is only Dagnai Holdenstock and Brutog Corpse Eater. So they fit on one sprue simply because it's a little smaller sprue. So for the hostiles, Radikar the Wolf gets his own sprue because he's a boss man. And he does what he does. Like, what are you gonna do about it? You can't stop him. A whole bunch of pieces. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces in there. Again, push fit. And I'm gonna do some build guides for these. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it on this channel, actually. I might do it on a different channel, a hobby channel that I'm trying to set up. So we'll see how that goes. And then you get 2 other sprues for the rest of the hostiles. So you can see here, we have the Vagski is split up into a whole bunch of different parts. So that's gonna be a bit fiddly to put together. What are they called? The Kosagi Night Guard are split in half, probably like a couple of pieces, and then models varying different pieces. And then you've got this sprue, which is skeletons, zombies, rats, bats, and some objective markers. So the objective markers, or the mysterious objects as they're called, are built throughout the kit itself. So there's not a separate sprue that you can get, which makes somewhat sense since they're not all considered objective markers. Like you've got, if we go back to the image of it, you've got gravestones and pillars and skeletons on the gallows, but then you've got 2 creatures like rats and some weird demon creature. So technically not objectives, but is what it is. So that's it. Let's go back to the main image there. Yeah, so much content in here. Like I said, 3 different rule books, 138 cards, 60 models, tons of other stuff, 20 game board tiles, 180 tokens. The game's you're going to be able to replay this game a lot because you've got so many different characters. You can play it in different variations and combinations. And then there's going to be expansions. So I've already bought these, pre-ordered. I'm pretty excited to get my hands on it, and we're definitely going to have a lot of coverage on the channel. Forward to that in the near future. And then we have the book itself, which is the Cursed City. If you buy this book, you also get a character card for Morval Albrecht. I haven't looked too much into this. He's some kind of wizard. He's a human archmage. I'm trying to read it. I can't quite read out exactly what that last one says. Another character you can have, you'd have to buy the model. As far as I'm aware, the book does not come with the model, but this is a wizard model that you can pick up fairly cheaply these days. You know, it's another character to play. and in the future we'll be getting more characters. Then there is also the special edition for $90, which is hardback, slightly different. It has a nice cool cover and has a bookmark. Okay, my thoughts on special edition books, $90 Australian. Less said the better. Then we have one last book, Lady of Sorrows, which is set in Warhammer Age of Sigmar, following the Night Haunt. So that's it. That's all we got for this week. Yes, a fairly long video, but there was a lot of things to go through. So like I said, if you do want to get this cheaper and you are in the UK and EU, check out the link in the description, click it, it'll take you to Element Games and you get like 15 to 25% off. I don't know what the discount is at this stage because I'm recording before their pre-orders go up. And if you do buy through that link, it helps out the channel because we're an affiliate with Element Games. Thank you if you do it. You're going to get a discount, you're going to support the channel. Probably most importantly, you're supporting an independent retailer. So that's it. I'm out. Let me know if you are excited about this, if you are going to get it. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button because we got plenty more content coming, and I will see you next time. Thank you for watching.